Hey everybody, I'm Dr. Jacob Larson, and this is Read, Write, and Cite, the channel where I teach you how to read, write, and cite for your college classes. So I'm kind of working on a series of videos to talk about how to use ChatGPT in an effective and also hopefully an ethical way when doing college writing. I think many people are quickly realizing that this is not going away, and some people feel like we should probably figure out how to do this effectively. So one of the first things that occurred to me when I was using a similar product based on ChatGPT for how it could work with academia is in the creation of an annotated bibliography. So I teach English, so we use MLA citation style. Obviously, these concepts will apply with APA and Chicago and Turabian and all the different citation styles. But the concepts are this. When you have a text that you have to get through quickly to figure out if this is something that is useful for your research, whether you're creating some sort of a literature review or something like that, it's really helpful to be able to get to the point quickly. What is the text about? What are the main points? And all those sorts of things. So I tested it out with this particular source here. So this was published recently. This is from Smart Learning Environments, Volume 10, Issue 1, published by Springer. Title is What If the Devil is My Guardian Angel? ChatGPT is a case study of using chatbots in education. It's a little bit meta to use ChatGPT to help talk about an article about ChatGPT. So here we are. Now, in any academic paper, there's a lot of common things. It's very common to have an abstract at the beginning so that you don't have to read the whole thing if it's not useful to you. It's very common to have ways to be able to cite your sources correctly. This is accessing it through Gale, so I can click here and I can see a citation. I can get the appropriate whatever. That's not what I'm talking about here. What I'm talking about is the things that ChatGPT can do that I'd be doing anyway, but it can kind of save me some effort. So the first thing I did is I selected all the text for the entire document, and then I asked GGP, summarize this. And it's like, whoa, chill. This is too long. So I was like, oh, okay. I got to figure out something shorter. And so I actually asked ChatGPT, what's the word limit for a prompt in ChatGPT? And it says 300. Well, it says about 300 words. So if you're going to do a word dump in ChatGPT, what it's telling me is you're probably around 300 words. So if you wanted to summarize or simplify some text or something like that, which is what I'm going to be doing, you're going to need to take it bit by bit. Well, academic papers tend to have a pretty simple structure. So we have the abstract, which I could just ask it to simplify. Also, at the end of this text, we have, because it conducted research, we have conclusions and implications. So the first thing I did was I selected this text, and I went over to ChatGPT and I dropped it in, and I wrote the following prompt: summarize the following text, and then I copied and pasted what was the conclusions and implications sections of this particular paper. The idea being, can you help me get to the point pretty quickly so I understand what's going on? Now, this is a similar thing to what the abstract is doing. It's just one way to use ChatGPT. And this is what it came up with. So it showed me, it basically took these 3 paragraphs and it brought it down to 1. The study used a 3-stage approach to examine concerns about using ChatGPT and education, specifically chatbots, specifically ChatGPT. While ChatGPT is considered a powerful tool in education, the study highlights the need for caution and guidelines, and it goes on, right? Now, one of the things that's happening here is I'm not asking ChatGPT to give me an opinion per se. I'm not asking it to go scour the internet for information. I gave it the information and I said, summarize it. So that is something ChatGPT can do. probably with a word cap close to around 300 words, it can simply summarize the text. So that might be something that is useful. Now, obviously, for anything that you're doing in ChatGPT, you need to have some oversight. You need to be able to double check it. So there's one way you can use ChatGPT as you're going through sources to help simplify and speed up the process for you. Another thing you can do is to simply, is to work from your abstract. Now, this is the purpose of an abstract, is to summarize what's going on. But sometimes the vocabulary level of an academic paper may be hard for some students to understand, may be difficult for you. So this is something that ChatGPT can do. I copied and selected it. I put it in and I said simplify the following text. And I copied and pasted the abstract into the document. And then it gave me a paragraph about half the size using simpler language. So this is what it said. This study looks at ChatGPT, a chatbot with artificial intelligence, and how it's used in education. The study found that people are generally positive about using ChatGPT in education, but some are cautious. The study examined how ChatGPT can transform education in response quality, usefulness, personality, and emotion, and ethics. In the final stage, the study investigated how ChatGPT was used in 10 educational scenarios, blah, yada, yada. This is the sort of stuff you'd expect to be in an abstract. And if you're testing this out to see if you can trust it, look at both, right? So you take it, put your prompt in to see what it says, but see if you think that that's accurate. But it looks good to me in this case. I would never say blindly trust ChatGPT, but this can help simplify the process for me. Now, what would this look like big picture? Let's say I'm trying to find 10 sources on ChatGPT. This is an assignment my students will do for a research essay and the 100 level research class that we do. They may be required to come up with 10 sources. And so if I was one of them and I'm trying to use ChatGPT ethically, I can pull up my sources, and maybe to make the process easier for me to understand, I can try to simplify the abstract or the findings or something like that. Now, how can I use that text? Well, if I'm creating an annotated bibliography for my own use, then there's really no issues as far as giving credit for where the words came from, right? But if it's an assignment from the teacher to create an annotated bib and turn it in, then you need to know what your teacher expects. If you're using ChatGPT, do you need to cite it? And I made a video previously that talked about how to cite using ChatGPT. MLA specifically isn't super clear on it, but basically you treat OpenAI, which you can see right here on the page. Is it saying it? Well, there's a link right there, chatopenai.com. OpenAI, they suggested listing OpenAI as the author, ChatGPT as the title, the link here, and then the date you accessed it, which is just a simple way of showing I used ChatGPT. And basically it would always be the same except for the date, right? That's what an article from Scribber recommended. Until I see something else, I don't know. What it comes down to is, what does your institution expect? What are they okay with? Make sure to follow those guidelines. And if you're at an institution that has no policy, has no guidelines, then maybe look for, I think there's kind of like two lines to the situation. There is using ChatGPT for the pre-writing kind of stuff, like outlines and annotated bibliographies as a resource there. I think it's a great use there. If you're going to start producing words that are going to show up in your text, then maybe it's appropriate to identify that you use ChatGPT in some way or another. Maybe you cite it directly or not. Personal opinion, if I had text like this, maybe I would just paraphrase it, and then you've got a couple layers of abstraction from the original. You are using your own text. You just use ChatGPT to help simplify it for you. You just need to make sure you're accurate. Okay, so those are some thoughts on maybe how you can use something like ChatGPT to simplify text, to summarize text, and then maybe some of the thought process for how to cite and whatnot. So I hope that you found the video useful. Like I've said in previous videos, academia really isn't set on how to handle things like this. So make sure you understand the expectations from your institution and be very thoughtful and clear. If ChatGPT is generating text that you're submitting under your name, be aware of whether whoever's receiving that text is going to accept it, and maybe there should be some sort of citation. So, all right, thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Bye.